I'm Andrew Edwards, and you're watching Gear Live. Apple announced the iPhone SE last week. It's Apple's budget-priced phone that doesn't skimp on power or functionality, and I think it may be the perfect device for keeping buyers in the Apple ecosystem for years to come. In this episode, we open up the iPhone SE, and I explain why I think it's a Trojan horse that Android doesn't have an answer to. What's going on, Tech Squad? Andrew Edwards here, and today we are talking about this guy right here. This is the new iPhone SE. We're gonna be unboxing it in just a minute. Big shout out to Apple for sending it over for us to check out. Now, if you're interested in the iPhone SE, I will leave a link down in the description below. Now, getting started here, this version that Apple sent over is a 256 gigabyte product red edition. Inside the box, we find the typical manuals, stickers, and SIM ejection tool, along with the iPhone SE itself, a lightning cable for charging and syncing, and a 5-watt AC adapter for charging from the wall. One item of note, the iPhone SE does support fast charging as well, so if you have a faster charger, you can use that instead, or you can pick up Apple's 18-watt charger as an alternative. The fast charger will give you 50% charge in 30 minutes. Now, at first glance, I think a lot of people are seeing this as a simple upgrade, or even an upgrade that can be overlooked, but I actually think Apple nailed the execution of the iPhone SE perfectly for a specific target demographic. Now, I know a lot of hardcore techies fail to see this sometimes, but there are a lot of people out there who only upgrade their phone every 3 to 4 years. They buy it and they hang on to it until it breaks or becomes too slow due to age or other issues. So today, these would be customers with an iPhone 6 or 6S or something like a Samsung Galaxy S6. There's also a portion of users who simply don't want to use a large phone. Prior to the announcement of the second generation iPhone SE, Apple's entry-level pricing on their newest phones was $699 for a 6.1-inch iPhone 11. Now, if you're used to having a 4.7-inch phone in your pocket and wanted to maintain that size, before the announcement, you'd have to buy an iPhone 8, which was released in 2017, making it a couple of generations behind in processing power. There is the smaller 5.8-inch iPhone 11 Pro, but that starts at $999, a price that a lot of these customers simply aren't willing to pay for a phone. In fact, price is the next topic that we need to focus on. This is where customers are all over the map. I know several of you viewers out here on this channel who buy multiple flagship phones per year. You love tech, you love trying anything new, and you don't want to miss out, and I totally understand that. Now, there are other people who upgrade annually and buy the best phone out there, and others every 2 years and buy the best phone they can afford. And then there are those who want something inexpensive that they don't have to baby, that gets the job done, phone calls, texting, email, web, and maybe a little bit of Facebook and Instagram thrown in. Lastly, there is familiarity. While some people clamor for change, even change for the sake of change, which we see whenever Apple releases an S-year iPhone, and we hear people screaming about how it isn't really new because it looks the same as last year. Now, alternatively, there are others who don't want change at all. They want the experience that they're used to. They know it, they're familiar with it, and they don't want to learn anything new. The home button and Touch ID fall into that category. So what Apple did with this phone is answer all of these concerns for this demographic of consumer. We've got a phone that, under the hood, is as new and as fast as Apple's most expensive iPhone 11 Pro Max, thanks to the inclusion of the A13 chip and 3 gigabytes of RAM versus the 2 gigabytes found in the iPhone 8. It's a phone that fits in your hand without compromising on functionality. Where else can you get a sub 5-inch phone for $399 with the same flagship class specs that are found in the top of the line model from any other manufacturer? This is an area that Android devices here in the US just aren't able to touch. The cheaper the phones get, the more compromises we see. Cheaper casing material, bad cameras, no water resistance, but that isn't the case here with the iPhone SE. Now, I am not the only one who is thinking this way about the iPhone SE. In fact, John Rettinger and I had Mr. Mobile, aka Michael Fisher, on our Geared Up podcast, and here's an excerpt of what they had to say.
The best that Android is going to be able to offer to compete at this price point is either a year-old flagship at a discount, which is still a great way to go, or a phone similar to what we expect the Pixel 4a to be, that has diminished components, so the facial unlocking's not there, the gesture and stuff is not there, but a less powerful processor. So when you compare the 765 to the Snapdragon 865, by all accounts, it's between 40 and 50% less powerful. And you may never notice that difference in most of what you do, but there might be times when you do. And when you compare the 865 to the A13, by all accounts, it's closer, but the A13 is more of a powerful chip. When you compare the A13 to the 765, it's a night and day experience.
Yeah.
And that's why I think Apple, what they did, Android does not have an answer for right now.
Correct. But if you look at what Google was able to do with the 3A, what features they had to cull to hit the price point they wanted, which was $399 at launch, that phone didn't have wireless charging. It didn't have any dust or water resistance certification. The iPhone SE 2020 will have both.
Right.
And everyone, of course, always talks about the Apple ecosystem. And what my mind always goes to is, yeah, it works really well with your computer. If you have a MacBook, you can do AirDrop. But it's more than that. It's about the fact that if it breaks, you can go to an Apple store. There's a massive retail presence with a large repairability. Like, the value arguments just never end with Apple. And again, it makes this thing at $399 just this utter nuclear device, unless it really screws up somehow, or unless the camera is a total disaster area. But I don't see that happening with what Apple's learned from the iPhone 11 series, its best cameras yet.
And if you're not familiar with Mr. Mobile or John Rettinger, these are two guys who carry Android phones with them as their primary devices. And even they can't see how the Android side of things can answer what the iPhone SE is delivering. Of course, I've already touched on the price. I can't think of a better value in smartphones than the iPhone SE. Can you? If so, leave a comment down below. One thing you have to remember though, aside from the devices itself, for that $399, you're also getting long-term software support as well. Apple typically supports a processor generation with about 5 years of updates. That means that if you buy an iPhone SE today, I wouldn't be surprised if it runs iOS 18 5 years from now. Again, this is where I look at the entry-level Android space here in the US, and I can't name one phone in that price range that will see half a decade of major OS update support. It's a smart play by Apple to get people into or keep people in the ecosystem. Sell them a phone for $399 that they'll keep for years, and maybe they'll try out the free 1 year of Apple TV Plus. Maybe they'll check out Apple Music or join several iMessage group chats. That's the brilliance of the iPhone SE. You're giving them the fastest processor in the best-selling smartphone form factor of all time at a fair price, with the opportunity to create long-term loyal customers. There's no way that you're fitting the latest Qualcomm Snapdragon 865 into a sub 5-inch smartphone, and this allows Apple to corner this market with a phone that checks all of these boxes. But hey, now I want to hear from you. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Leave a comment down below and I will meet you there for further discussion. I want to thank Apple once again for sending over the iPhone SE for us to check out. There will be a full review coming here on the channel, so hit subscribe if you don't want to miss that one. And by the way, if you want to hear even more about the iPhone SE and what some of the top tech creators out there think, be sure to check out the Geared Up podcast. Geared Up is a show that I do each and every week with John Rettinger, where we talk about the latest in tech, gadgets, and games. Head to your favorite podcast player and search for Geared Up, 2 words, not one, for even more tech goodness. Now, as we're approaching 215,000 subscribers on YouTube and 150,000 on Instagram, I just want to give a big shout out and thank you to everyone out there who listens, shares, subscribes, follows, etc. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be able to do what I do. So thank you. Until next time, as always, I appreciate the support. I'm Andrew Edwards, and I will catch you in the next video.